All right, welcome back. The situations on ground are things we see every day. Godwin.
What is the situation on ground?
He just said the situation on ground and the we see every Godwin, as if he had the situation.
What is the situation on ground?
The political climate to which we are in the country right there. Every day it hits up.
Yes.
Yes. So
election is around the corner.
Yes.
Just like approximately 1 year from now will be general election. So it is expected that the political atmosphere will be tense.
Yeah.
I think what has been happening in the last 1 to 2 weeks in Nigeria is with particular reference to that Electoral Act that the general public is pushing for an amendment that will guarantee a free, credible, acceptable, and fair election. Because a product of free, fair, credible, and acceptable election will also be fair and perform his duty freely. Now, the problem we are having in Nigeria currently is one of the problems is National Assembly.
Okay, let me give you a line to follow through.
Okay.
For example, before we get to the National Assembly,
Yes.
let's first of all get to the umpire that are supposed not to be biased.
Yes.
When the umpire begin to talk as if they don't have any alternative or don't have any wherewithal to conduct the election, that this is who we are, we can't do it better than this. The head of the agency, for example, Amupitan is saying we don't have a network.
Amupitan cannot say we don't have a network. His predecessor, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, built up to 2023 general election, assured Nigerians that they have what it takes to transmit election from polling unit in real time in about 95% of the polling units across Nigeria. And remember that the technology they have, even when in rare cases where there is no network, once the election is counted and result uploaded on the platform, immediately the system go to a network coverage area. It will automatically upload itself based on the time it was initially uploaded. So he cannot tell us that we don't have. Okay, if for example the budget, for instance, that they are proposing is nearly 1 trillion naira, taking maybe 20 billion naira from it to procure Starlink, that even if you are in the hole, it will give you network. It will not be a bad idea. So, in fact, what in the 5% area where network does not cover, it cannot even take up to 20 billion naira to procure those items. But I'm just estimating, for instance,
What's come to us?
If what's come to us, so except if they want to be a football referee that is already supporting a particular team. But if they truly want to be a neutral body, be objective as their constitutional mandate stipulated, then they should put all the necessary mechanism in place and ensure that a free, fair, credible, acceptable election. Because it is not about maybe the sitting president, for example. It is not about Peter Obi. It is not about Atiku Abubakar. It is about the institutions. Let us not destroy the institution. The international community is looking at us. And a lot of countries in Africa are looking at up Nigeria, up to us to take, a direction from us with regard to how effective our democratic system is.
Now, let's look at Amupitan, the head of the umpire, conceding to defeat even when the fight has not started, or giving an upper hand to a particular party at this time, then the National Assembly also acting in a particular way. It looks as if the job is done.
Thank you very much. Amupitan, who is he? He's a professor of law. is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and is a renowned, a lawyer, a very senior lawyer at that matter. What did he do when he came in as the chairman of INEC? The first thing Amupitan told Nigeria is that, look, I am here for serious business. Don't come to shift any blame on me. There's no law backing electronic voting or transmission of results in Nigeria, that the law does not recognize e-transmission, and that if there's anything to be done, is the Senate. And just last week here, the Senate has said, oh, because of technologically defamed, because we are technologically defamed, we are not there technologically, we cannot at this time, make electronic transmission a mandatory provision in the law. But don't forget, person of Mark Igini, a one-time commissioner of INEC, he was a state commissioner in Edo State, in Akwa Ibom, and some other state in the South, has said that in their time, that INEC has done all the infrastructure that is required for INEC to transmit results. It's just a few days ago, he was on channel. He was vehement that it is not right for the National Assembly to say that we do not have the technology, technology know-how to transmit results. And for Amupitan to come from the INEC view or INEC side to say that the INEC do not have, they cannot do magic. That they don't have the network, they cannot do magic. When a predecessor of him, those who started the electronic voting in this country, have said that they have everything in place, 95% infrastructure of what is required to transmit results is already there, then we get to be worried. When they said, except you want to be a referee who has already taken side with one side of the game. Now, coming to the National Assembly, what baffles me most is a sad day for the people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu Federal Constituency, Delta State, where pastor, he called himself a pastor. He was even a pastor in the Edo State University, Ekpoma then. He was a student pastor, and he still claimed to be pastor today, who represent the good people of Ughelli South, Ughelli North, and Udu Federal Constituency, to move a motion to say that Nigeria cannot go e-transmission. It's appalling. It's a disgrace. It's a disappointment. It's embarrassing in this time of our history. You see, the National Assembly, we have said it before. What do you expect from them? When Mr. President went to the National Assembly to present a budget, he said, all of you are coming back in 2027. And what do? He said, on your mandate, we stand. So it is on the mandate of the president that is playing out in the electoral reform. What are we talking about? The law requires that for you to conduct election, you must give a notice of 360 days to the day this government, the tenure of this government will elapse. As of today, we are still talking about amendment of the law. What does that tell you? They don't want to amend any law. They are just playing on our intelligence to the point that we come that there will be no need to assent to this law, because if you assent to the law, if you retain the 360 days, then you cannot conduct election within the set time. So we are not kids. We are not kids. But what we play at is out of that. It's what we don't know. Amupitan has come to see. I have a lecturer, a professor of law, Professor Olisachukwu of blessed memory. He was the chairman of body of bench. I said, when an intelligent lawyer becomes a judge and is corrupt, that you are in trouble, that you can't get anything from that court and from that society. And that's what he's playing at. Amupitan, to give it to him, he's a very intelligent lawyer. He's a professor, and he can play with the law. The law is an axe. Anywhere you toss it to, that's where he goes. It's his interpretation. And if he's the person that is at the apex of the interpretation, whatever he interprets becomes the law.
Do you think Amupitan, because he speaks like someone that is already defeated and can't handle one of the most important agencies that we have as an umpire in this election, which is very, very important to the Nigerian society, country today, do you think people should call for his resignation? Because he said that we can't produce magic. Maybe we can get some other guys that can do magic.
People are even calling for his resignation already, but not on the ground of these defects even, but with regard to his responsibilities. Now, like Mr. Phillips say, when he came, he said they should not expect magic, that there is no law, isn't it?
Yes.
Mandating him to conduct and upload election in real time. Now, first and foremost, if he was serious with doing the right thing, was serious with being absolutely objective, the first thing he ought to have done, National Assembly have taken over. These are what I inherited. These are the facilities available. These are the ones we need, and this is how we can get them, and this is how what we need to get it. Now, if the Nigerian people are aiming for real-time transmission of result directly from polling unit, this is what it takes to do it. If you first, you need to, amend the law. Second, we need this equipment and this equipment. This one, I met it. This one is not in existence. But there was nothing like that. Just like you say, he has accepted defeat even before the battle begin. It simply means that he already have a script that he's following. Otherwise, he ought to have told the entire people of the world, not just Nigeria, because Nigeria is a big player in the world.
Yeah, because if we look at countries that are so large like India, 1.4 billion people, and they have a voting strength of about 900 million, and true voters about 600 and something million, and they have their election results real time. A country like Nigeria that is proposed or assumed to have a population of about 120 to 140 million, 220 to 240 million, why can't we do the same technology, same everything that spreads across the countries of the world, the same we operate in Nigeria?
It's not that we cannot do it, but the people in leadership position don't want to do it.
According to INEC, because he said that they don't have their hands are tied, that they are not MTN or they don't have a network.
But the point is this: has he proposed
to the national
to Nigerian people?
Other than that, his predecessor, Mike, I am quoting him.
Not just his
predecessor. That we have 95% infrastructure in place.
Yes,
for electronic transmission.
So if they had it, Philip, why was there a glitch in 2023?
That is the question. That is why he came to tell you that the Supreme Court, that if the Supreme Court do not interpret the law very well, that there's no law mandating INEC to transmit results. Now that we're talking about law mandatory there, he's coming to tell us that they don't have the network, they don't have the technology. So is he not appropriating and reprobating at the same time? Is he not contradicting himself? Is it that there's no law or there is no infrastructure to transmit the result? Which of them is he hinging his argument on?
There has to be law. Then you now say, this law, I don't have what it takes to operate within the provision of the law. Then the makers of the law will now say, put forward what is required for you to operate within this. Then, okay, he's not the only person. Just as you say, there have been X and even those that have served before that are still working in INEC. We have, let's assume, as they said, we have 90% of those infrastructure. How much will it take to get the 5% and added up to make sure that you give? See, any legitimacy, the difference between authority and power is simple. Power is naked. Authority is clothed with legitimacy. Any position you occupy without legitimacy, you are only exercising power. You are not recognized by law. And that is why you will see the fact that it is even very disheartening that despite the existence of INEC that is mandated by law to conduct free, fair, acceptable and credible election, it is our judiciary that have been electing our leaders in the last few elections.
Okay, all right, let's look at what Oscar the Ned is Amupitan reading from a script written and given to him by APC. I'm beginning to doubt his sincerity. Then Mary told by his handle, must INEC have his own network? Then last slide, what is Ella? Ella is fine. He will soon be here. Well, that's where we can take it up to this time. I'm sure he has taken notice. He doesn't need to have a network for things to work out. We'll be back on Landslide News.